Everyone, it's Jen, and this presentation is a bit more about HTML. Building on what you learned last time, you'll get to add a bit more flair to your web pages with some color and images and some text styling. So let's get started. Current HTML uses what's called CSS, which stands for Cascading Style Sheets. And this is a section of code that is put inside the head of your code, and it is used to define elements on your page by defining fonts and colors and effects. For example, deciding that heading 1 will be a specific font and size and color. We will do something simpler in this class, as creating sheets, as you can see in the image, is a bit beyond the scope of what we're going to do in this class. So just to get an idea of how to create some styles, we're going to do a simplified version. One thing that you can do is you can use multiple tags on one element. So for example, if you want to have two different types of formatting on one piece of text, you can have two sets of tags. So for example, this text, any car, any look, any time, is a heading 3 style. But you also want it to be emphasized or italicized. So you can see here that in the bottom element at the bottom of the slide, you can see that here is the heading 3 tag, and here is the second heading 3 tag. And you can have an emphasis tag, and notice that this is falling after the heading 3 tag, and then before the heading 3 tag. Now this is called nesting your tags. So whether you are applying multiple tags on one element, or if you are applying multiple tags in your page, it's very important to remember to nest them, meaning that one particular tag that may be at the beginning also needs to be at the end. And so this creates like a nesting pattern. You can see the second tag does not go in the same order. It nests with the tag over here. And same with the third tag. So it creates like a circular pattern. This is called nesting. And it's very important to note that when you have your start tag, that your end tag falls in the correct place. One thing that we're going to do today is we're going to add some color. Here's my fun animation. We're applying some color. So in order to add color in our page, we're going to add some elements inside our style area in the head, and we're going to create this later. And there are a couple ways to add different types of color. You can use what is called a standard color word. So something like navy or green. So all of your standard colors, yellow, red, blue, purple, will be recognized. If you're getting a little bit more fancy, you may need to look up what a specific color is called to see if it is available. If you want to get very specific about a color, you're going to use what's called a hexadecimal color code, and we'll look at that in just a moment. But you can see that each element has whatever is being defined, for example, the heading 1, the paragraph text, and then the color is being defined here inside the style section. So we're going to move on and look more at color codes. A hexadecimal color code, or hex codes, are a base 16 numbering system, and they're used to define colors on web pages. So a hex number is written from 0 to 9 and then A to F. And web colors are written in 3 sets of hex pairs. The first pair represents the red hue, the second the green, and the third blue. So for example, you could see these are some codes that create the color red, bright red, green, blue, white, being the presence of all colors, and black being the absence of all colors. And here you can see a fun combination at the bottom of the purple element, where you have a combination of some red and some blue, but no green. And now you're probably saying, how am I supposed to figure out these codes? That sounds really complicated, Jen. Well, you go and look up your color codes online. You look on charts and lists, and there are little apps called a color picker where you can click and drag a dot around to see if you'd like to add a little more white, a little more black, a little more blue, etc., to figure out exactly what color you would like. And you can see here's a simplified chart that shows different colors that you could pick and choose from. And there are many of these online that you can access. And in general, people don't memorize these codes unless it's some sort of code that maybe you use a lot for your particular website. So going and looking up a specific color code is pretty typical. We'll also work on inserting graphics today. So when you create a line of code to insert a graphic, this tag begins with the abbreviation for image, IMG, and then SRC standing for source and an equal sign. And then the name of the image file is in quotes. And this is why your images need to be either stored online or stored in the same folder that you're working in. And today we will store them in the folder that we're working in. And then you're going to see the next part and the last part of this particular image tag, and that is your alternative text, alt text. And this is text that describes the image for the user. So if the image can't be seen by somebody or by the user, they have a description that is read aloud or is readable to them. So if a user is using something called a screen reader, which is an app that will help them understand what's on a web page, either because they have difficulties understanding it or they can't see the page, this describes the image for them. So it should be a short description of what is seen. So if it's a cat hanging from a tree, you just say cat hanging from tree. Here we have a car image of a 1934 Duesenberg, so that's what the alt text is. Today we'll also create a hyperlink to some text on your page. A hyperlink is created with a set of paired tags, A tags, and you're going to see that the start tag here has an A, and then it has H for hyperlink, ref for reference. So hyperlink reference equals, and then the URL is posted, whatever the URL is. So in this case, it is cabrillo.edu. And you can see this whole part here is the first tag. Then you're going to see that the text that will appear is just going to be Cabrillo College. They won't see the whole link. They're just going to see Cabrillo College. And that is what links to this hyperlink here. And lastly, you need your closing end tag to close off the text here for your hyperlink. So that was a bit about text styling, colors, images, as well as hyperlinks. Now you're going to go and apply those ideas in your hands-on tutorial. See you there.